Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Klute. And this movie came out in 1971, and it was nominated for a few Oscars. And Jane Fonda, she won an Oscar for Best Actress for this movie, and I thought she did great. And I do feel as though she was definitely worth nominating at the very least. I haven't seen the other movies that were nominated that year in terms of like Best Actress, and I did check, but I do feel as though her performance was pretty great in this film, and the movie looked pretty nice for the most part. There were some moments where it didn't, but I'll get into that later. I did like the music a lot. I really enjoyed it, especially in the opening credits, where it's like noticeable and not to being subtle. It was actually pretty good music, surprisingly, and there was one scene in particular towards the beginning where I kind of enjoyed the tone, and it was a little comedic for me. And I did enjoy what the story offered and what it was kind of going for. And I do like the first half a bit better than the second half. The second half kind of loses me, and I just lose a little bit of interest from it. But for the most part, I wasn't really bored. And it was pretty well paced. And there are some points in this film where this movie makes the conscious decision to have no dialogue and just to show you what's going on. And I like that choice a lot. You don't need characters constantly explain what's going on in their heads, or really. Sometimes you can just show and just interpret it from that perspective. And this is kind of leaning in almost into my issues. But for the first half, especially, it was really good. I was really enjoying my time with it. But I personally wouldn't consider it one of my favorite movies if it was super consistent, especially with that first half, simply because there's just other movies that I like a lot more. And I was kind of waiting for Roy Scheider to eventually show up. I was like, where's Roy Scheider? I know he's credited as being in this movie. Is it going to be all the way up into the end? But no, you do get him in a few scenes. He's not in the movie a lot. So if you're expecting to see him, he's not really in the movie all too much. And also, it's pretty crazy to think that Roy Scheider was in this and The French Connection the same year. And that movie won Best Picture. So I guess he was just choosing the right projects. He was also in Jaws that came out in the 70s, and I haven't seen all that jazz yet, but I hear that's good. Jaws 2, well, not a great movie if you ask me, but he's good in that at the very least. And also Sorcerer, can't forget about Sorcerer. I literally almost forgot about that movie until I just remembered it right now. And with the premise of this movie being a stalker stalking our main character, I didn't really get a great sense of that being like paranoia or that happening much at all. It kind of just disappears after a while and just almost feels as though it's kind of stopped being important. I was like, that's kind of odd. That's kind of the plot of the movie, but here we are. It's just kind of absent, and there isn't really much of a plot going on currently. Not that every scene is ruined because of this, but I did feel that sense, and I didn't feel as though there was this underlying tone of something creepy. You're not safe. But this movie had other priorities going on, and the action in this movie was my least favorite part of this film. It just wasn't very well filmed in terms of like how you would shoot it. I was kind of confused, honestly, with what I was supposed to be looking at. Can't tell you what was supposed to actually be happening. They just kind of filmed a bunch of things together and just said, there we go. Figured it out. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was very confused. And I wasn't in love with the characters. Not saying that I hate them, just not characters that I'm like super attached to, is what I'll say about them. And that's about all I have to say about Klute. It was pretty good. I would probably see it again at some point. It was definitely worth my time, and I think it's worth your time as well. It's definitely very enjoyable. So do check this movie out whenever you get the chance. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Klute a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Klute, and my social media links will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Ingrid Goes West. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.